Hello, baby. I need to stop that. It is absolutely terrible. Okay, the other night I picked up True Romance. As Arrow Films brought out a new cover, and I had to buy it. Just had to buy it. Oh, I just had to buy it. I should have filmed it that way. Obviously, check out my True Romance video. As you can see in the corner, I've got the poster, and I go through everything I've got from Laserdisc to UMDs to DVDs to VHS. And I watched the new one Arrow's brought out. It's got no extra content. It looks lush on the screen, but no extra content. Hopefully Arrow will bring this back out. If you can track down the original release with Christian creeping around the corner or in the elevator, whichever one you want to say it is, that's amazing. It's got Quentin Tarantino on there in the commentary, reflecting how he was going to do this as Natural Born Killers, and there's going to be one film called The Open Road or something like that. So it's quite good for him to reminisce. But watching it as a film, I like the soundtrack. It's very weird. It's got that very, I think it's Hans Zimmer, isn't it? Like doon 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 doon. You know what I mean? And then it's got some rave music in the middle of it. It's like really weird. Actually, I've got the soundtrack here. So you're so cool, Hans Zimmer. We've got Graceland by Charlie Sexton. That's not the guy yours. Mitch plays it. In Dreams, I Want Your Body, Necrophilium, Maybes. It's a weird track listing on there. Hello, baby. It's on telephone there. That's anyway. Blue font, reminiscence of The Shining, kicks off. Very chilled out. You get Christian Slater. It's a girl from The Crow in it. He's trying his look, chatting up a girl, wants to go and see some Sonny Chiba movies, and then he fails on that hookup, and then we get Alabama Worley giving a voiceover about how she got there, and they meet in the cinema, and then it just goes really well. Clarence finds out she's a call girl, not a whore. Clarence encounters Drexel, yeah. Kills Drexel, runs off with a bag full of money across the United States and tries to sell to a movie producer making body bags. Coming home with a body bag. That's the average storyline. I think what this has got, there's a lot of great dialogue in this, and you can kind of see what Tarantino would do with Pulp Fiction and all these like big long movies he does with Cookie and stuff like that, when there's a big long dialogue. It has this, but it seems to be chopped down and charged, if that makes any sense. It's very fast paced to get there. It gets uber violent, but for a Tony Scott film it's not super violent. Yes, at the end it gets a bit bloody, but overall it's a very slow paced romance thing with a couple of bloody bits in the middle, really. I think Christian Slater's performance in it's class. It's his height of his career when he was a top bill star. Patricia Arquette as well. They're a brilliant couple. Val Kilmer being credited as Elvis is quirky in a way for what the character is, because you never first see him on there, even though he's billed all over there. The one thing I've got really funny about is why Samuel L. Jackson really gets a bill. Why is Samuel L. Jackson in this? He says about 4 lines and he gets shot dead. It's weird. I mean, the only thing I might have done is really propelled him to be, I don't know, Pulp Fiction 93, wasn't it? It's really weird. It's almost like a glorified cameo. He gets his name over Michael Rappaport. Michael Rappaport's got quite a big role in this. Brad Pitt is really funny. I've talked about this before, but the Brad Pitt character almost looks like, what job did he finally get? He went out and became a stunt driver. That's the kind of, it feels like Once Upon a Time he gives that performance, that so laid back casual dude. It's very violent when it wants to be. There's a lot of faces who went on to be in a lot of Jeremy Bruckheimer movies. Dennis Hopper and Christopher Walken. That's one scene I think is totally, you can tell that's a total Tarantino thing, and I think that's the only scene where it sticks to its, you know, strongness, and it's a fantastic performance by both of them. But even Christopher Walken's henchmen are recognisable henchmen from a lot of other movies. Tam Sizemore and Chris Penn, brilliant little thing. You've got the guy from Beverly Hills Cop in there. There's loads of people in this. There's a couple of inner jokes. There's a couple of reference. Riddle Me This, Batman's there as well. There's some violent bits in it, like. But again, it's one of those ones where not a lot happens. It's more about the characters, and when it wants to be violent, it is super violent. Especially the bit with Drexel. I mean Gary Oldman. He just, the whole light, fantastic scene. Just the whole, but then the rave music going in the background. But no, seen it loads of times. I enjoyed it. I do think this new release is quite disappointing for what you get. Yeah, it's a shame. But yeah, anyway, I'll see you in the outtakes. Off a different note, I did see a countdown today that Matthew Lillard was in Scream 2. That was a bit mind blowing. I know it's so random. But going off that, I would like to see Christian Slater in a Tarantino movie, like a new one. I think he's a brilliant actor. He was a nice person to meet in real life. I think he's challenging. It's good because you've got, if you look at him in Heathers, and he's like this likeable, but he's a fucking bad motherfucker. He can turn on the creep. I'm not saying he's like a heavy hitter bad guy. He's that corporate kind of, cunt basically. But he's quite a lovable character, and it's like he's done. I mean, if you think of how many films he's famous for Pump Up the Volume, Cuffs. Yes, it's my favourite film. It's going to be lying around there, but like Cuffs. You had like Interview with the Vampire when he come along and replaced River Phoenix. But you had stuff like this, True Romance, and then he was in like stuff like Broken Arrow, Hard Rain. He's been a steady working actor. He's got loads of his films lying around this. But now he takes quite a few paychecks for certain stuff. But he always seems to brilliant. Murder in the First was like a year after this movie, and that's one of his best performances as well. So he's done that. I mean, I think it's great. I mean, Christopher Walken obviously was in Pulp Fiction. I can't think of Dennis Hopper being in, but getting Dennis Hopper at the time, he'd been known. He'd done a lot of movies, like the last movie himself. He'd been in Easy Rider, but he had obviously been in. He was going to be in Speed. Next couple of years as a bad guy. Get cast as a bad guy for the rest of his career. Gary Oldman, just come off stuff like Leon in The Firm and stuff like that, and he's sort of really, it's one of his little early dabs into Hollywood, I think. Look at him, he's like a chameleon. Christopher Walken just delivers it like a pro. But yeah, soundtrack's good. But I just couldn't bring myself to buy it on vinyl for that much. I talked about that in the unboxing. The score, I probably would be tempted, but that Hans Zimmer tune, it's catchy, but it's repetitive. Right, that's it. I need to do some bits and bobs. Thanks for watching. Goodbye for now.
And now, the end is here.